The White House this afternoon tried to ease the worries of both President Zelensky and his concerned European allies that Ukraine will be cut out of a peace agreement when Presidents Trump and Putin see one another on Friday. Mr. Trump's spokeswoman said the meeting in Alaska would just be a listening exercise for him. Well, Robert is in Washington this evening, where he's been monitoring the build-up to Friday's summit. And Robert, what more did the White House have to say this evening about this high-stakes meeting?
Well, critics of President Trump, of course, say that he is massively ill-prepared for this summit, that he has no deep understanding of the nuances or the complexity of the front line. And they suggest that President Putin, who, of course, is a former FSB and KGB officer, will exploit this to maximize Russian gains. Well, the White House, not surprisingly, has today been pushing back at all of those criticisms, saying actually it was President Putin who requested this summit, that he's made the concession of coming onto US soil. And the White House is saying, look, the Europeans are being consulted and Zelensky will be brought into the negotiating process at an appropriate time. And Caroline Levitt's central point is that Friday is just the first step.
This is a listening exercise for the president. Look, only one party that's involved in this war is going to be present. And so this is for the president to go and to get, again, a more firm and better understanding of how we can hopefully bring this war to an end.
Well, it's a challenging dynamic for the Ukrainians, not just diplomatically, but also on the battlefield. In the last 24 hours, the Russians have made some serious military gains. This is video from the Ministry of Defense issued by Moscow yesterday, showing that they've made advances towards the town of Pokrovsk and could lead to a serious breakthrough and breach of Ukrainian defenses. For his part, President Zelensky has been making the point that actually, in his view, the Kremlin is preparing not for peace, but rather for fresh military escalation. He has said Ukraine can never and will never cede territory on its eastern front, that he says is absolutely central to Ukrainian fortification. So, look, Friday in this summit is going to be a big test of Putin's intentions, but no less also a test of President Trump's self-proclaimed deal-making skills.
All right, Robert, great expectation ahead of that summit on Friday. Thank you very much indeed. The pretty Cotswold village of Dean is used to coaches and other tourist traffic clogging up the roads at this time of year. But they don't usually travel in bulletproof convoys. The village is the holiday base for the American Vice President Vance. He's staying in the local manor house. It's not a bad location for meetings with Nigel Farage and the Conservatives Robert Jenrick, but not, it seems, with Kemi Badenoch. Some locals, though, would rather not have their American visitor there at all.
It is a small hamlet in the Cotswolds that has become an exclusion zone. Every visitor subject to security, every footpath has become a checkpoint. Even horse riders escorted away by police. And all because the US Vice President chose here for his summer holiday.
It feels like COVID. It's just not normal. It is totally abnormal. It's like a sort of little mini police state.
Georgia and Jonathan live in Dean. They don't like the disruption nor the man responsible.
The fact that it's for Vance, you know, Trump's number two, you know, we don't want that kind of person in our village, and it feels deeply unsettling.
The Vice President arrived here on Sunday, his 20-vehicle motorcade closing roads to allow him and his family to see the sights. And at this upmarket farm shop, get a taste of a country that J.D. Vance hasn't always been terribly complimentary about.
So this is where I do my interactive mystical afternoon tea.
But at some other attractions, like this witch-themed cafe, they'd sooner make him and the roadblocks disappear.
There were so many road closures. I had bookings come and they were 40 minutes late.
Isn't it good for your business? You know, the Vice President of the United States wants to come here. That's a huge advert for this area, isn't it?
Not really. I mean, we have hundreds of celebrities around here, you know, and it doesn't cause that sort of carnage.
The presence of high-profile political figures is by no means unusual here. The former Prime Minister David Cameron also lives here, but locals say they have never seen anything like this. Every road, every track, every footpath is closed off, has a police officer stationed.
What an honour to have the Vice President of America come and visit our little place here. No, come on, we can put up with that for a little bit.
From Ukraine to Palestine!
Occupation is a crime! Protesters took the place of tourists this evening in a country JD Vance said was infringing free speech. But he won't have heard them in the secure seclusion of his holiday home. Ben Chapman, News at 10, Oxfordshire.